What's up, people? Mike here, and this is Legendary Hard Difficulty, Episode 2, Escape from Part 1. So, this is when the game actually starts to throw combat at you and enemies that you can fight properly. When you come to this area, this is when you get introduced to the Fire Drakes. They can be very annoying. Using the fire axe usually is the best method of dealing with them. But at the same time, like you saw there, if you destroy them when they're glowing red, they do an kind of like a splash damage effect as they die. So you take a small amount of health damage, but it's not too bad unless you're like really low on health. I have died a couple times because of that. And this was the point where moving away as you're turning the valve comes in handy. Because otherwise, if you stand at that valve as you're turning it, that fire drake will shoot one of those fireballs at you and do a good amount of damage to you. It won't kill you, but it will do a good amount of damage, and you definitely want to stay away from them. Even though when you do kill them, you can absorb some of the animus, but most of the small enemies, until you encounter the Minotaur and the Griffin, they don't give you a whole lot of animus for killing them. So these early levels, you gotta be very very cautious and put a lot of thought into like what you're into battles that you're going into. I actually got lucky here because normally when I've gone to hit that that fire alarm switch for the sprinklers, when I've gone to on easy and normal, I've actually gotten attacked by at least one of those fire drakes. So I actually got very lucky there, but that's like what I mean when they do damage. Like just killing those two as they were glowing red, I lost like half my health. So I don't do it very often towards the beginning of the game, but I really should use the pistol or like the shotgun or something to deal with a lot of those fire drakes instead of going close quarters with them with the fire axe. But I'm very stubborn and do things the hard way sometimes. When you get into this elevator, you get introduced to the werewolf, but it's just like a little cinematic, so I didn't see the point of including it. But when you get up onto the street, make sure you shoot that fire hydrant, because I believe if you don't, I want to say at least one or two fire drakes I don't think they can go up the stairs. I could be completely wrong. They could probably jump up, but I feel like shooting that fire hydrant will prevent the possibility of getting attacked by fire drakes. And this is when you get introduced to the Molotovs. When you come out here, I kind of did it poorly. That car I was standing in front of has a assault rifle. You want to make sure you pick up the assault rifle, because when you deal with these fire drakes and you extinguish the spawn point, this is when you get introduced to the Black Order soldiers. And uh, the Black Order soldiers are probably the most dangerous enemies in the entire game. Just because with all the creatures, between the Minotaurs, the Griffins, the Fire Drakes, the Wolves, the Black Order soldiers can do the most damage in the quickest amount of time. I've died more times through all 3 of my playthroughs of this game by Black Order soldiers compared to like the mystical creatures. Like the second most deaths I've taken in the game have been from the Fire Drakes, and then the Werewolves were third. But yeah, I think it's because your character is just like a normal guy. Like the entire game, he doesn't even have any kind of body armor or anything. He's just in like a suit, so he has really no protection against enemy bullets and fire. So he will take a lot of damage very quickly from even just like 2 or 3 shots will usually put you down to like almost half your health, or even more than that. So it's kind of funny to say that in a game where you're fighting werewolves and griffins and minotaurs and all these other mystical creatures, the most dangerous enemy in the entire game are other humans and their assault rifles and shotguns and shit. But this guy you can't save. You can't kill this werewolf before this guy's dead. I believe hitting the werewolf during that whole sequence does do a little bit of damage to it, but not really a whole lot. But dealing with the werewolves early on, the fire axe and the shotgun are the most effective against them. And always get that head, because the last thing you need is these fuckers respawn or regenerating on you and slashing you in the back and killing you. But that does it for part 1, and I'll see you in part 2.